I'm keeping a close watch on your belongings, don't you worry.
Love you too. Let me see.
You have a heart of gold. Don't take it. Cut shit up. We gotta do this nigga stamina, see? Cause this nigga, bro, if he can increase his stamina, yeah, that's all it is. Now I'm about to fundraise. Get that shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that big shield getting in the way. I can do this. Look, barely using anything. What's this? You want to switch? You a fool? Man, come on. At least we don't understand shit. Let's see. Yeah, it's over with. Let's see. All I want to do is fundraise. I wonder how many souls. Because if I got enough souls, bitch. That's my job. Damn. Good, bro. Don't ask me. That's the issue. He didn't want to fight. You move the boat, you ain't got to deal with it. Simple logic. Just move the goddamn boat. Mm-mm. Shit. Back hurt. Wham. I know what I should do. Go to this nigga right here. See if he got any.
I'm still around home.
Hey, Auntie.
Oh, yeah. Just your man didn't get the boy.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting up here waiting on him. I don't win and play basketball.
You already over there.
What? No, I was talking about I went and played basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been waiting on him. I know I gotta go get him. I know I gotta go get him.
Yeah. Yeah. Time to get back into your old routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's why I took the kids, took them down to the park, let them go down there and burn some energy. Just talking to them, getting them ready for school year, things like that. Cause Amy going into volleyball, and I told her, I said, you ain't gonna like everything. I said, but you're not gonna like every manager you have. You still gotta go kill it.
Yep.
And I said, man, I told her, I said, man, if you don't hear nothing else, yo, daddy, y'all wonder why I be playing basketball so hard now. It's because I gave up early on something I was good at, trying to be something I wasn't. So,
well, that's what happens with a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
People don't always recognize their potential when they're young, even though their parents try to push them in that direction. Or you have kids who know what they want to do young, but their parents try to push them where they want them to go, and they end up doing nothing.
Yep. That's why I was telling them, I said, just if nothing else, use you know what you're good at, and just keep.
You know what you're good at, and you know what you enjoy. So you put the two together, and don't pay no attention to what other people try to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, your parents can advise you, but even at that, if your passion is somewhere else, then you have to make that known.
Yep.
So you don't have people trying to push you when you don't know.
Exactly. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, like you said, you got the blind leading the blind out here on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was telling them, like, y'all only gonna be young for one. What irritates you now, when you 40, you pray for it. Because you sitting there like, I could have stomached that. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing but youthful pride. That's all it is.
Yeah. And somebody telling you what to do. That's the biggest thing, especially as you get older. You have a tendency to think you're grown and you know it all.
Yep.
Yeah. No, ain't nobody trying to tell you what to do. They're trying to give you some direction.
Exactly. But like I said,
some kids, like I say, don't have any direction, but they don't have anybody trying to push them to find some direction.
Mm-hmm.
So they just wander around aimlessly.
Yep. As I told them, like, you're gonna get older and you're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get older and you're gonna regret it.
I was watching that whale special on Netflix, one with George Michael and his partner. His father was pissed off that he wanted to go into music. And after he graduated from high school, he didn't want to go to college. His father wanted him to have a professional career like accountant, doctor, something like that. Well, that's not what he wanted. And so his father was pissed with him and told him he had 6 months to get a record contract, get a job, or get out the house. And he told him, and you probably can't sing no way.
But you got to think. I think a lot of men back then, you know, they resented the idea that their sons weren't like these like stereotypical men. Like it's just like a lot of men when they find out that I'm a nursing assistant, and I always tell them I'm not mechanically inclined. They never look at like my profession. It's a trade. Like I literally have.
See, his father was a first generation immigrant from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now his parents had 2 daughters, and then they had this son. Well, of course, his father managed to open his own restaurant and do very well. And I think he felt like his son should either follow in his footsteps or his son should be a professional. But he wasn't having his son going into music. It really gave me hell about it. And his father was saying, it was a concert, I don't know what it was. And his parents were at the concert and his sisters. And his father, he realized, all of these people are coming to see my son. He said, I did a complete U-turn. And he more or less had to tell him, like, hey, his dad was right.
Yeah. But guess what? The fact that he had the sense to say, you know what, let me go ahead and just tell him, like, hey, go for it. You know, it is what it is. Your kids are going. That's why I got to tell them, if you want to go to college or anything, it's up to you. I'm not pushing you there. It is up to you.
He was a good student, but he didn't have any interest in higher education. He became obsessed with music, but his father couldn't see that. And like I say, his father was about ready to throw him out the house. That's how upset he was about it, because he didn't want to go to college. And it just so happened, they graduated. Him and his friend graduated from high school. They got 18. And within like less than a year, they had a record contract.
But I don't think a lot of people understand. A lot of the bands you listen to that we know for a lot of those soulful hits, those bands came from Britain or Germany.
Exactly. Because you look at David Bowie and all of them, yeah, they came from Britain.
SOS band. Who else came from over there? It's a few bands that like made a lot of those perennial hits that we like. Like
Sting is from Britain, I think. The
right.
Beatles came from Britain. The Rolling Stones.
Yep.
All of them came from Britain. But when he was a teenager, Britain was in a mess. The economy and everything. And a lot of the 16 to 18-year-olds were out of work. So a lot of them were collecting. Well, they said they were on the dole, so I guess it was kind of like unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
And see, they were going to clubs, and they had tried to get this band together with their friends, but then that kind of fizzled out, and it just left him and Andrew. And so they were making their own tapes, because they had some kind of recorder at George's house. And a guy that lived down the street from Andrew, he was in the record business. And they more or less dropped it in his mailbox, and he recognized potential. And they got a music contract. And they were like about 18 years old. And what happened was they started sending them all up and down, all over England to do these concerts, and they were getting this really big following, and their records were selling. But for 2 years, even with that, they wasn't making no money, and they were still living at home. But like I say, his father was so against it, it was crazy.
But most men,
like I say, his father was a Greek immigrant, and he came over here, built up a business or whatever, and did very well.
But a lot of men are like that, Auntie. You know, they a lot of men, because they have a mind frame of what's
What they want for their sons. And see, he was the youngest child and the only boy.
Yeah, he wanted him to be.
He had 2 older sisters. So, so the father was looking for him, I guess, to follow in his footsteps, or he really wanted him to have a professional career, like lawyer or something like that. It's, like he let his parents know he's like 12. His interest was in music, and he felt like he could make a living in music. But his father wasn't having it, and they got into it all the time about that. Finally, his father delivered the ultimatum, and he gave him 6 months.
Wow.
But it just so happened that they managed to get a record contract before the deadline ran out.
But you think how many? It's sad though, because like I said, because men have a stereotype of what a man is, and it's just like, when I first was working in this field, a lot of men would like, and my rebuttal to them is, I said, guess what? You're gonna hate when a guy like me come in and I gotta wipe your ass.
Well, see, okay, you look at, say, for instance, my father. There was no such thing as my father feeding babies and changing diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Because his thing was, my mother took care of the inside of the house, he took care of the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so men of that generation wasn't doing that kind of stuff. Well, when Ted Shear got married, and they had Gabby, and Ted was somehow getting up with her and changing her diaper and that kind of stuff, and my daddy thought that was, And my mother and mom told him, like, hey, men of his generation are different. They help with raising their children and housework and that kind of stuff. It's no such thing as men's work and women's work.
Right. A lot of women, when they find out that I do the laundry, and they be looking at the bar like, he do the laundry? She's like, yup. And I remember we went to counseling one time, and the lady was like, told Nevada, she said, I wish my husband would do a load, just one. But I learned that from watching Uncle Fred and Mr. Washington. There were 2 men I watched do laundry when they got off work. So I thought it was normal. You know what I mean? Like, those are 2 guys that I know love their wives devoutly. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Washington used to come home, do laundry. He maintained the house. Miss Washington couldn't do nothing. She was sick.
Yeah, she was sick. And so he didn't have any choice.
But
I know, like Melvin and Jerry, they split up their apartment. Like Melvin took care of the bathroom and I think the living room or something, and Jerry goes through the kitchen and bedroom. Well, what would happen is Melvin would end up doing all of it, and she would get mad. But he figured, if you're supposed to be cleaning the house, you clean the whole house. You don't clean part of it, then the person go do the other part. Do it in their own time. He wanted the whole house clean. Look how Mike cleaned Keith's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's why like I be on the kids. We be on them like, nah, get the house clean. Get them. You can do all of that. If you can go shoot your baskets, hit the volleyball, you got enough energy in that tank to clean up after yourself.
I was laughing at Amari because Amari decided while y'all was gone, he said, it's really time I start to learn to cook.
Oh, yeah. I told you he called us while we was at dinner.
Uh-huh.
And
did he?
Yeah, he called and apologized and everything, Auntie. Told me, he said, I'm sorry, I've been wrong. He said, I love y'all. Thank you. I didn't realize how much life is without y'all. I said, man, I'm not. I get it, and I can laugh at it now. But as a father,
because people have to come to things in their own way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you have adults still living at home, they still expect the same things they got from their parents as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just had
and so I told him, well, good. It's time you decided you need to start learning how to cook.
Yeah, it's just time for him to grow up. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was.
And see, and it's funny, because that's not the first time he stayed home by himself. But this time, it really kind of hit him. I guess because y'all were gone longer than you normally be gone when you go on vacation.
And the thing is, it's not like we ain't asking him to go, but he be so intent on, doing him. And I get it. Like I told him, there's rules to it,
Yeah.
So
and see, and like I said, because y'all left on Thursday, well, you didn't come back till Friday. Usually, you're not gone that long.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think that's why it really hit him. Like Bam, it never bothered Bam to be here when I go on a trip or whatever. But Bam knows how to cook and everything else.
Right.
He don't do it. He be looking at me to cook, but he knows how to cook. And so if I'm gone, I don't worry about Bam eating or anything else. And when I walk in the door, my house looks exactly like it looked when I left it.
Exactly. Bam ain't finna do no extra. No, I ain't finna blow it. You know,
No,
but that's what I was telling him. I said, bro, it's not about policing you, but like I told him, you gotta survive without me.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta come.
And you know what? A lot of women thought it was odd that my brothers were such good housekeepers. But my mother always taught my brothers, you may not have a wife.
Exactly.
Or you might end up with a woman that don't know how to do anything.
Exactly.
And so, and because of that, women Mike were with, and even women Melvin were with, resented them because they were better housekeepers than the women were. But see, it shouldn't make any difference. Why should I be a better housekeeper because I'm a woman?
Unfortunately.
But we were of the idea, Deborah didn't even get Deborah to iron him a shirt. When he was getting the kids ready, one day he asked her to iron him a shirt. She wouldn't do it, but she said he ironed a lot better than she did. Well, he did, but that wasn't the point. So Melvin generally ironed his own clothes. So Melvin put a piece of a pair of pants you cut your fingers on. But because he did it better, she refused to do it.
I think also too, you know, people get frustrated when they find out other people have you know, it's almost like people they want to feel like that they're needed. And it's just like, just because I do something better than you doesn't mean you're not needed.
Exactly. Because she did everything else. He helped her keep the house clean, and he was the one that always dressed the kids. You know, and I think she did the majority of the cooking. But, like I say, she wouldn't even iron him a shirt because he did it better. And I'm like, bullshit. You know, you do the best job you can do.
But, you know, I think, like you said, people resent things. And it's really just, it's just ego.
Because when it comes to that kind of thing that was normally women's work, they act like they want the men to help them out, but then at the same time they resent the fact that men can do it, and then they feel like men don't really need them. No, they don't need you for that. But if you can do that, then fine. But see, there's a lot of men that are single, like I say, you go to their places, and like I say, they like show places.
Yep.
So yeah, if I have to take care of myself, yeah, I can take care of myself. I might prefer having a partner by my side helping me with it, you know. But it's not like I can't do it on my own. And like I say, a lot of women resent that.
Yep. But you know, unfortunately, like I tell my daughters, you know, don't get in the mind frame of stereotypes. You know, some just because I might be able to do it better don't mean I don't need you. It just means I just do it better.
But see, the fact of the matter is too, and it's not a matter whether you do it better or not. It's a matter that you do it. You don't look for your wife to do all the laundry.
Nah.
Yeah.
As I tell them, I say, my wife, man, she worked hard.
Yeah, and plus the fact too, your wife is more mechanically inclined than you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, you know, like, hey, you look at your strengths and weaknesses, and you see what complements each other. Not who does the best or who should be doing it because they're male or female.
Yep. But you know, unfortunately,
I would never have a husband like my father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had a good father, but I wouldn't have. You couldn't have paid me $1 million to have a person like that as a husband. But that was the generation he grew up in, and that's how things were done. Now, my grandfather, my mother's father,
mm-hmm.
he did everything. when it came time for spring cleaning, he was the one did all the spring cleaning. He hung the curtains. He did the grocery shopping and everything else. My grandmother did washing and ironing and cooking and that kind of stuff. And like if my grandmother went to church, if she hadn't finished dinner, he would finish it, and it would be ready when she came home from church. But that's the way he was, because he was at my mother's, and Mama was at church, and so he said something about don't you think we ought to get these breakfast dishes cleaned up and get dinner started? My dad come, Berta take care of that when she gets home. He didn't say anything, but see, my grandfather was a different type of man. He would have took care of that kind of stuff.
Right. But I also think, too, like I said, some people, I don't want my sons or my daughters to be so dependent on anybody. You get someone that compliments you.
Yeah. My grandfather had to teach my grandmother to cook, basically, because she could cook some things. And my grandmother learned to bake because my grandfather loved sweets. She didn't know how to do any of that stuff. But he did, and he taught her how to cook.
Because wasn't he like 15 years older than her?
Something like that. Maybe about 13, something like that. Yeah, he was a bit older.
Because she was his second wife, right?
A whole lot of things, because being a baby at home and being sickly as a child, I think she had scarlet fever when she was younger.
Oh, wow.
That's why she couldn't have hair, because it affected her hearing.
Oh, wow.
So, and her sisters, and her mom always took care of her. When my grandmother had a baby, she stayed in the bed a whole month after that baby was born. She didn't do nothing but feed that baby. And her sisters would come over every day and take care of her and, whatever. But my grandfather's the one who took care of the house.
So her sisters, all of them lived in Atlanta?
Yeah. All her sisters lived in Atlanta. Because my mother said when she was born, because her mother used to come help her also. But when my mother was born, she saw my mother, and she never came back. She sent her daughters to take care of my grandmother. Because she saw that white-looking baby, and she wasn't having nothing to do with it.
Was she alive when Aunt Ann was born?
No. I can't remember what year she died. You know what year she died. It's on that picture that you got.
Right. Yeah, I got to make sure I take it down, because Aunt Ann, she wanted Grandma to see that picture. I got to make sure I take it down there.
Leslie has a copy of that picture.
Oh.
Mama seen that picture. Leslie won a copy of it. I think we went to Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay.
Leslie won a copy of it. And there was a picture on the table, because I left all those other pictures for you.
Yeah.
But there was a picture table of my grandmother and all her sisters. I took my mother a copy of that, because they got a copy of it in that booklet too. But Mama didn't have a picture of all her aunts and her mother together. So I gave that picture to Mama.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, like.
The other ones that were on the table, Mama had copies of those.
Yeah, she was like.
Did you get those pictures?
Yeah, I got them all. I just ain't hung them up yet. I'm about to put them all throughout my house. Because I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put my grandma at. Put her somewhere.
Your grandma?
Yeah. Talking about the picture of my...
That's my mama's grandma.
Hey, definitely a grandma. I just got to figure out which one she is.
That's my mama's grandma.
Yeah, so they say great grandma. That's my double G.
Yeah. It's just like that metal picture on the mantle is my father's grandmother.
Right. So that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get a picture, copy of that too while I'm thinking of it. I'm going to put them all together.
Yeah. But I was asking Mama, and I guess she might be able to ask Judy, because my grandmother had brothers, and my grandfather had brothers and sisters. But I don't know if they have any pictures of any of them.
Nah, when I seen, because I seen one of the brothers, they couldn't remember his name.
One of whose brothers?
It's in that book. they couldn't remember the one brother's name because they said it was one brother. They weren't for sure what his name was.
One of my mama's uncles.
It was some. Yep. It was a few because that's what I was trying to. I was trying to connect the dots, like who's who. But yeah, there was one of them that they really couldn't figure out who what his name was. Because what it was is I went looking to figure out how cousin Booker and Mandolin, how we were related. Because I wanted to understand it, like, all right, how are we related? Because I was talking to her, I was like, man, I didn't know you was Aunt Von's twin. She said, yes, I am. She said, I'm just taller. She said, but that's been my twin all my life. I thought it was cool. Because she's like,
I think Booker was
Ruben's son.
my grandfather Ed's son.
Yeah, so it was.
You might have heard I'm talking about Uncle Ed and Aunt Susie. Well, Booker's father Ed was my grandfather's brother. Booker is an elder.
Right. And, oh yeah. So he's so that's truly Boosie's side.
Yeah, that's on Boosie's side. Yeah.
Okay. I'm